Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and welcome to our continuing coverage of the best of 2024. Well, as we talked about last year, and we're taking a look at the ending of the year, and this video I'm talking about the best-selling games of the year. Now, best-selling is always a difficult thing to do because there's no way I have access to all this information. So what we've done is we've partnered with Board Game Bliss. Board Game Bliss is a fantastic online game store. If you want to get great deals on games, go check them out. And they have nicely shared with me their data for the games that sold over the course of 2024. So we're going to use that. It's a good data point. So I was surprised that some of these I was not surprised at. So what do you think's on it? Here's your chance to think, but we're going to jump right into it. Two games that just missed the top 10. They're close. Bridesmaids, Slay the Spire, and Trio. So both of them just missed it. But here we go. Number 10. Sea, Salt, and Pepper. This is one of those games that I'm like, one of these days I'm going to play it. I still have not played Sea, Salt, and Pepper. But I'm going to get around to playing this one. This small little game that has done incredibly well. A lot of people really enjoy it. Incidentally, my wife played it and did not like it. But who knows? I have to give this one a try. That's number 10. Number 9, also a small game. This one's a solo game for the most part, and that's Gloomhaven Buttons and Bugs. Now, this one, of course, is probably on the list because it's leapfrogging on the success of Gloomhaven in general. But this is a good game in its own right. I played it this year. I had a lot of fun with it. A small little, not quite pocket game because it's kind of chunky. If you have a big pocket, it might fit. But easy to put in your backpack and bring along. Number 8 is No Mercy. So No Mercy, this is a game that I had to kind of look up because I did not know much about it and realize that it's a reprint of a game called Cheeky Monkey from Reiner Knizia. So No Mercy, this is a small little make the right bets and rob your opponents to be the best legend of the West. It's a push your luck game, and it's been called many other names like Hit, Extreme, and things like that. So this is another one I've not played, but I would like to give this one a whirl at some point. Number 7 is Cascadia. Cascadia is, of course, a game that keeps it's probably the best known game from these folks at this point in time. It's had many, I think at least 2 expansions here come out. They keep trying to make a sequel to Cascadia, but none of them has come close to being as popular as Cascadia is. Number 6, the critical darling of 2024, and of course I expect to see this one do well, and that's Arcs. So Arcs is the first, I think, big game from Leader Games in a while. I mean, we saw Oath, which was kind of a funky little, kind of not legacy style game, but living game that was critically acclaimed, but I don't see getting played a lot these days as opposed to Root. But Arcs, you're going to see Arcs getting played quite a bit, I think. I think at the next conventions I go to, I'm going to walk around and see people playing Arcs, this big space game, a lot of stuff going on. So that's number 6. Number 5, we're back down to little card games, but this one has just really come out of nowhere, and that is Far Away. Far Away, this little card game where you are playing cards and then scoring them in reverse order. It's one of those games that's easier to teach. I mean, it's easier to play than it is to teach. Teaching it, I'm like, just watch how this works. But every time I've taught this, I see people play it over and over and over again. It's done very, very well. Number 4 is the People's Choice number 1 of the year. This game is incredibly popular. It kind of blew my mind to see how popular it was over the course of this year. It was on a Hot Games at Dice Tower Convention, at Dice Tower East, and people are still playing it now, and that is Harmonies. Harmonies, which is a pattern-building game of sorts where you're scoring points. It has elements of other games in it, and, with a barely there theme of animals, and yet just really strikes that chord. I wonder if there's some connection between people like Cascadia and people who like Harmonies because of them both being on the list. But that is number 4. Number 3, not a new game for 2024, but a very popular card game, and that is Scout. It's becoming more and more readily available, obviously, with the new Oink edition of this game. Scout, the game where you can't change the order of the cards you play in your hand. And while I'm not the biggest fan of Scout, I do realize why it has such mass appeal. It is the closest thing to a modern classic card game. Like, when you look through different periods of time and people were playing Hearts and Whist, and then people were playing Uno. And I think you can look at this decade and say, and people were playing Scout. It's that popular. Number 2, I was surprised to see on the list in some ways. I mean, I'm not surprised it's on the list. It's very popular. But that it's so high considering how recently it's been released. And that is the Lord of the Rings Duel for Middle-earth. I suspect if the Lord of the Rings Duel for Middle-earth had been released earlier in this year, it would easily be number 1. The fact that it's number 2, I think, is amazing. A reimagining of Seven Wonders Duel, adding in Vincent Dutrait's artwork, and then just some amazing small changes, but a nice way. This game is just taking the world by storm. People are really enjoying it. And then number 1, which I don't have the data for last year, but I know this might have been the best seller from last year too. This is a game that's just another 2-player game. They're very popular, and this is Sky Team. Sky Team having won awards, many awards from last year, just being an incredibly popular game. Really having a lot of fun with this one. Definitely one that people are enjoying. So that's funny. On this list, we have Sky Team and Lord of the Rings Duel for Middle-earth. Those are 2-player games that reached the top. And we have a solo game at number 9. The rest of the games are for multiple groups and all, but it's a nice grouping list here. And that's the top 10 best-selling games of 2024. I want to thank Board Game Bliss for giving me this information to work with. And check out each month, we do a best-selling list of the previous month. So we just posted November's last week, and then in a few weeks, we'll talk about the best of December and continue on that way. Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower. I hope you have a great, fantastic, happy 2025. I'm Tom Vasel. We'll see you next time. Hey folks, thanks for watching another one of our videos. If you like our videos, if you like our channel, you would love to game with us at one of our conventions. Check out Dice Tower Cruise, Dice Tower East, and Dice Tower West. Fantastic conventions where we play games with wonderful people, a humongous library, and lots of other events and stuff. Also, don't forget to check out our channel, like and subscribe. I'm Tom Vasel.